So picture this, February 3rd, one of the biggest, most powerful AI tools on the entire planet just goes dark. OpenAI says they fixed it, but their official story is so vague, it actually creates more questions than it answers. So what really happened with ChatGPT? I mean, 1 minute you're in the middle of your workflow, and the next, poof, it's just gone. Now, before we decode this whole mystery, do me a quick favor and smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to @BrandTechAuth right down below. You're not going to want to miss what's coming next. All right, so for a few hours, this tool that millions of us use every single day just vanished. Let's dig into exactly what went down.
Okay, first up, to really get a grip on what this means, we've got to look at the numbers, the sheer scale of this digital blackout.
So was this just a tiny little hiccup, a blip on the radar? Or were we looking at a full-blown system-wide meltdown? Well, let me tell you, the data tells a pretty wild story.
Get this, over 13,000. That's the peak number of reports from users that flooded into outage trackers like Downdetector. And think about it, that's just the people who actually bothered to report it. The real number of people affected? Oh, it was probably way, way higher.
And this right here, this is what really puts it into perspective. On a totally normal day, you might get, maybe 19 reports trickling in? Barely anything. But on February 3rd, that number didn't just climb, it exploded to over 13,000. This wasn't just a flicker, folks. This was a full-on supernova. So let's walk through the timeline of this whole mess. At 3:20 p.m. Eastern, boom, the system basically just collapses. By 4 p.m., less than an hour later, we start to see a glimmer of hope, but thousands of people are still completely locked out. It wasn't until 6:30 p.m., a full 3 hours after this whole thing started, that OpenAI finally gave the all clear.
Okay, so the system went down, they fixed it, it came back up. End of story, right? Well, not so fast. The real mystery here isn't that it broke. It's how OpenAI decided to explain the fix. This is it. This is the whole thing. The entire official explanation from OpenAI for a massive global outage. 4 little words. Applied the necessary mitigations. I mean, come on. It's so corporate and vague, it almost sounds like something the AI would have written itself.
Yeah, that phrase, it's a total black box. It tells us pretty much nothing.
So what in the world does that phrase really mean? It's one of those carefully crafted corporate statements that could be hiding, well, just about anything. So let's do this. Let's break down what we know for sure versus what this phrase could be trying to cover up.
All right, check this out. We've got it laid out side by side. In the what we know column, we have the hard facts, right? A massive sudden outage, more than 13,000 people reporting it, and that super vague fix, necessary mitigations. Now look at the other column. This is where it gets interesting. These are the questions those facts bring up. Was it just a simple server crash? Or was it something way more complicated in the code? And you only mitigate a threat or a problem. So what was the problem? Were they fighting off some kind of external attack? Was it a critical bug they had to patch on the fly? Or was the whole system just collapsing under its own massive weight? We just don't know, because OpenAI is staying completely silent.
So where does that leave us? We've got this huge outage, a super cryptic explanation. What's the bottom line here? Why should you, or anyone who uses this tech, actually care about this?
Let's just quickly recap the main points here, so we're all on the same page. First, a major ChatGPT outage hit thousands, probably millions of users. Second, this thing was significant. It went from a baseline of 19 reports to over 13,000. The good news is they got it back online within a few hours. But, and this is the big one, we still have no official clue why it actually happened. And that really brings us to the big, critical question we all have to ask ourselves. We are weaving these incredible AI tools into everything we do, our jobs, our businesses, our daily lives, at a mind-blowing pace. But an outage like this, it's a huge, flashing red light, a reminder of just how fragile all of this is. It really makes you stop and think. As we build more and more of our world on top of this technology, are we building on solid ground? Or are we building on something that could just vanish without any warning at all?